Hello, my name is Claisse, and I'm going to present a paper co-written with my colleague Abigail Durrant entitled Keeping Our Faith Alive, Investigating Buddhism Practice During COVID-19 to Inform Design for the Online Community Practice of Faith. This research was conducted with a Buddhist community in the UK. The aim was to understand how the community adopted online tools for practicing Buddhism during the pandemic when they were unable to meet in person. In this paper, we report on interviews with 12 members of the Buddhist community, and this was complemented by an autoethnography. We contribute empirical insights on the mediated religious and spiritual practice and provide design consideration for enriching spiritual experiences that are meaningful to practitioners in community of faith. This project started from my personal experience. I have been practicing Nichiren Buddhism for over 5 years as part of an international community-based organization called the Soka Gakkai International. In this type of Buddhism, there are 3 essential pillars. The practice consists of chanting twice a day, in the morning and evening in front of an altar. Members are also encouraged to regularly visit others to chant with them. Faith relates to actively sharing the Buddhist philosophy with others. Here it is important to highlight that the Buddhist community plays an important part, with discussion meetings being a core activity of this practice. Meetings tend to be held monthly and often start with members chanting together for about 30 minutes, followed by discussion of a theme. And finally, members are encouraged to study Buddhist principles with the aim to understand how these can be applied in daily lives. During the pandemic, the organization stopped all in-person meetings. The community self-organized and used tools like WhatsApp or Zoom to continue practicing together remotely. So as a member of the community, I found myself connecting with the local group online using my phone or my computer to meet and chant with others. And because of the pandemic, the digital device was forced into my practice and played an important role in mediating my spiritual practice for the past 3 years. This is what it looks like. So when connecting online, I place my device on my altar so people can see me chanting. And so as a design researcher working on technology-related project, I started reflecting on my experience. And this informed the interview with 12 members of the community with the aim to capture their experiences of adapting to the lockdown situation. Next, I briefly contextualize this inquiry in relation to SIGCHI. Digital internet-enabled technology have been appropriated by individuals, community, and larger institutions to support religious and wider spiritual practices at different scales and in different settings. This has been described as techno-spiritual repurposing. Most recently, the COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the trend of technology-mediated interaction, which has presented new challenges and implications for faith communities. And social media platforms like Facebook are increasingly collaborating with religious organizations and have announced their ambitions for moving religious experiences online. Also, there's been limited research on digital tools like mobile apps for supporting religious or spiritual practice. And recent research has highlighted privacy and trust issues. Building on previous work, we highlight a missed opportunity for SIGCHI. Overall, there is little research despite religion and spirituality being an important aspect of daily life for a majority of people worldwide. So with our work, we contribute with a case study and report qualitative, empirical insights to bring forth the values and the needs of Buddhist practitioners. We have noted the challenging and sensitive natures of the subject and the lack of representation in terms of the range of belief and practices being represented in the literature. We contribute to the literature with a case study and investigate techno-spirituality from a community-centered approach to conduct more critical, inclusive, and participatory research in this space. Most examples in the literature feature off-the-shelf technology that were designed for other purposes than spiritual practice. So with our research, we are broadening the scope for exploration by drawing on SIGCHI discourses to contribute to the development of a conceptual design space for enriching spiritual practice. In this paper, we discuss inspiring examples which have used tangible and embodied interfaces for engaging users with the sacred or the spiritual. We also draw from examples that have used alternatives to screen-based interaction for connecting remotely. Here the example have used paired devices and sensory interactions for exploring communications at a distance. Next, I introduce the 4 main themes generated from our reflexive thematic analysis, and I will close with some design consideration. So our first theme was pre-pandemic experiences, values and feelings of practicing Buddhism. Here we report on how participants describe their experiences pre-pandemic, and we capture the values and the needs associated with the Buddhist practice. Here, for example, a young participant described the value of this practice in terms of self-development. Our second theme, creating mediated community connectedness. Here we report on how participants have used tools like Zoom or WhatsApp to practice Buddhism and stay connected with each other during the pandemic. Here in the quote, one participant comments on the value of using Zoom to chant and connect with other members. In our third themes, we also highlight the challenges for practicing Buddhism online, which participants describe as a totally different experience. For example, for the majority of our participants, it was not possible to meaningfully connect via Zoom because they could not be in rhythm. Finally, enabling a sense of connection and leaving no one behind. Here, participants discuss the potential role of technology beyond the pandemic. It is important to mention that the community is now meeting in person again, but we are still using online tools like Zoom or WhatsApp as an alternative or in complement to in-person meetings. So technology has become part of the practice, and moving forwards, participants highlighted the different needs and resources within the community and stressed the importance of not leaving anyone behind. So in the paper, we discuss the limitation of existing tools for mediated community faith practice, and we provide 3 main design considerations. In the time we have now, I will step through the 3 design considerations. First, making tangible interfaces for meaningful techno-spiritual connections. Here we draw attention to the pervasive aspect of screen-based devices and internet connectivities in people's lives. As these are becoming more integrated in daily faith practice, we invite design researchers to envision alternatives that may be less pervasive and which explore tangible interfaces and could privilege more experiential and sensory qualities of interaction. Second, being in rhythm with others and the universe, sensation as design materials. Our insights show that spiritual practice was not conceived as a solitary experience, but enacted collectively with other members of the community. In the case of chanting, participants describe the practice as an embodied and participatory experience with experiential qualities such as rhythm, synchrony, and harmony. Here we see an opportunity for drawing upon approaches like Soma design to help generate collective understanding of bodily interactions that could support or augment shared experiences when practicing at a distance. And finally, designing with and for care, fostering belonging to a more than human community. Here we see an opportunity to design interactive systems for community aspect of faith and spiritual practice. Our participants have described the interpersonal care and belonging that is enacted through the practice, with different types of connection. So we see an opportunity to imagine how interactive systems may support different levels of mediated interactions. And that's it. Thank you so much for listening.